It's April 7th. We've got snow falling. It's 29 degrees. We're in Tennessee. 3 days ago it was 80 degrees. I don't know what's going on with this weather, but you know what I'm about to do. Hook the boat up and go fishing. So come on, let's go. Update number 1. There's nothing to update. We didn't find him here at the first spot. I followed this creek out to the mouth of the river, the Lake Barkley, and I went upriver about half a mile, a little over half a mile, then up another creek. I was hoping they'd be stacked up at the mouth of the creek with this cold front pushing them out of the shallows, but I didn't see any there. I didn't get any bites. So the water has dropped in these flats from the temperatures that it was before all the way down to close to 50 in some spots, and so that's just too cold for largemouth to be up in a couple feet of water. So since I can't make any runs around the lake that are very far, I'm going to trailer the boat. We're going to drive about 15 miles away, put in at another ramp, and see what that holds. So stay tuned. There's a fish. Feisty one. Not a big one, but a feisty one. Look how dark that one is. Thought I got a bite throwing that chatterbait across it, and it came off, and picked up the square bill and a couple of casts across it, and there we go. So, even on miserable snowy days, at least one bass can be caught. Go home, girl. Here's the fish. It choked that chatterbait. Wow. Come here. There we go. Ooh. Another pretty bass. First cast at this little spot. Little bass. Look at this one. Look at the big scar this bass has on it. Right there. Something caught it or hit it. Anyways. Got some weeds there, a little bitty. So, oh, it's another bass. 2 casts in a row. Well, I think we found something that's working here. 2 casts in a row. And that one felt funny when I was dragging it in because it had both trebles hooked here and here, so it had its mouth closed, so it didn't have that typical shake. Well, anyways, that's another baby small one, but you know what? On a day like this, that makes me happy. There's a fish. Got a lot of energy, this one does. There we go. Oh, that's a nice one. Nice little 1.5-pound bass right there. My second cast, I made a little run from way down at the far end down there. It's that island. It's, only probably a half-mile away or whatever. But I came down here. The wind is blowing up to this side. I figured I'm the only one out. I'd try a couple of these little bridge pylons, and that's a nice looking little bass right there. Here we go. Here's a fish. Oh, another nice one. Oh, well, here we go. Two nice fish from this bridge. It was definitely worth coming out here. That's a beautiful looking fish. Caught the one on the chatterbait and that one on a squarebill. It's not been the biggest fish, that's for sure. But it sure is nice to catch them. Here we go. Here's another one. Oh. There we go. Haha. Back-to-back casts. Well, no. With one in between. 2 out of 3 casts. The third bass here from under this one bridge. How about that? Yeah, it turned out to be a fun day, that's for sure. Well, what a day. We were having snow this morning. We're a week into April, but I decided to get out and do a little fishing. It was a grind. I had to hit a couple of boat ramps and get a few different creeks, and then finally found a few fish later in the day. Probably had a little bit to do with that sun coming out of the clouds, warming up that water temps a little bit, but I couldn't find, temperatures were between 50 degrees in one of the creeks to 55 was the warmest I found it anywhere. And that's 5 degrees cooler, 6 degrees cooler than what I had been able to find last week. And so I knew it was going to be difficult. The big bass I don't think were really biting. There were some decent ones I think that were probably feeding later in the day. I just couldn't find any good ones, but it was fun. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe. And until next time, I'm Daniel, the Low Budget Outdoorsman. God bless.